Okay, our next witness, while he is the last on the typed list, we have two other add-ons. But our next witness is Rod Shinners. I thought they had left.
There was somebody was wanting to add on, and then they canceled. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. They as far as I know.
okay, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, before you testify, just, apparently the folks who are number 32 are here. We'll get to them. No, but we'll get to them right after you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is true?
I do.
Okay, state your name and...
My name is Rodney Shinners. I live in Short Hills, New Jersey, in Essex County, and I'm married and have 4 adult sons. I'm not what you commonly see here because I'm a birth father or biological father. Some people call them baby daddies. I went to college and lived in New York from 58 to 69, and I went to Kings Point, graduated from there in 62. When I was November 1965, my steady girlfriend gave birth to my first child. And this child was given up for adoption against my will due to parental pressure and the social stigma of the time. I'm not proud of this. It has cast a shadow over the rest of my life. At that time, I thought I had no rights whatsoever, was very ashamed, sent upon request, it turns out to be of the gray market lawyer, a sum that today, by inflation, would be $35,000. But I thought I was a scoundrel. I had no rights. I had nothing to do but just slink away into the night. Later, I got married, raised a family. I have 4 adult sons. As the years went by, these memories, I tried to put this out of my mind. It never really went, and as the years went by, it got stronger and stronger until I realized that you're an old man now. You don't have that much time left. So if you're going to do anything, you better do it now, which I did, and that was 6 years ago. I felt that I had to find out what happened to this child, and I have done whatever I can. I have signed up with the Department of Health Adoption Registry, which confirmed that the child I knew was born in New York, was adopted in New York, and that's about what I know. The mother of this child is one of the 4 or 5% who wants nothing to do with it. I did contact her a couple of years ago. She was very surprised. First she was friendly till I mentioned the baby. And then she wasn't so friendly. And she couldn't understand why I wanted to find this child. I offer that as a demonstration that I know those people exist, and there are people who get rejected by their birth parents. I'm sort of out of the norm because there's a lot of birth fathers who take a powder, deny it, don't do it. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't want to lose the mother, and I didn't want to lose the baby. And it still bothers me. I've told my family about this. It was a long time later, but I told them about it. And the reaction was surprising. My wife is quite supportive. My 4 sons are anxious to meet this unknown sibling. I have identical twins, and I told them on different days, and they both said, "Wow, Dad, that's cool," and didn't know the other guy had said that. So that's a rather interesting little snippet of the procedure here. Now, I also should say that I wouldn't be here if I hadn't satisfied myself through my own research and my own reading that unsealing the records would not cause, I'm satisfied that unsealing the records will not cause increased abortions. That, to me, that argument is just out of the question. It seems to have been abandoned, fortunately. Another thing that I would like to emphasize here is, despite the fact what was said here, the children are adopted into a loving family. Well, they may be at that time, but children are adopted into the full range of families that exist here in this or any country. We've heard about children adopted and a father was an alcoholic. Some are abusive. That's no guarantee. For those who say that, there's no guarantee that a baby is going to be adopted into this, quote, loving family. It's the full range of families. There are plenty of people, some of them here and left, whose children were adopted into families that were far less than loving. So that sounds good when you say it, but it doesn't happen all the time. I have cut out a lot of stuff here that's been, as you said, it will have been addressed by the time we get down to me 4 hours later. A lot of this has been covered, so there's not much point of my saying it all again. It's all been well said. But I do wish to say this about privacy and confidentiality. And I strongly believe this, and some people do and some people don't, but I do. When a life is created, whether intentionally or not, there is a responsibility for that life that cannot be negated by the passage of time or the wishes of the man and the woman who created that life. They may vary from that. I do accept that responsibility, and even though I said nothing for about 40 years, it wouldn't have bothered me a bit, and I would have satisfied a great, I guess you would call it, longing in me if I had been found by this adult child who is now 48 years old. I have trouble understanding why this is denied by some people, denied by some women. The mother of my child has 4 other children, has 4 grandchildren, is very happy in her own life and thinks her life will be ruined if she's found out. In my experience, and I know a lot of adoptees now, I'm pretty active in this thing. I know a lot of adoptees, I know a lot of birth mothers, I know mothers who waited 38, 40, 45 years before they let their husband and their family know, and there's no case, and I've talked to other people, very knowledgeable people. You can eventually find one case, but the idea that the family is going to be ruined and that the woman will be thrown out by her husband of X number of years is pretty much a convenient myth to those who say that. It still is. Unfortunately, I have one of the less than 5% that doesn't want any contact. That's up to her. That's her privilege. I do want contact. I make no bones about it. I am searching. I do not, when I started to search and looked into this stuff, I was appalled by the laws in New York and the laws in many other states. This is a real slap in the face to American principles, and I am totally opposed to these restrictive laws. I also, if the judges were still here, I would say to them that I guess that England and the states that have opened up their records or unsealed their records are all wrong. England isn't sinking into the ocean and God isn't striking them with pestilence and frogs because they opened their records. They're still afloat. The other countries and the other states that have are still afloat. This is, to me, this is not a very good argument. It doesn't hold water. The states that never closed them, well, they're not New York State. They're not nearly as big as New York. But they're not awash in immorality or murders or abortions or anything like that. This is, I guess it's convenient for those people to say that, and I suppose that they believe it, but it just isn't the case. So I've added what little bit I can to this, and I really appreciate it's too bad the full committee isn't here.
Yes.
And a few dissenters. I would like the dissenters to be hearing this. But I certainly appreciate it. I'm glad that you went to the effort to hold this and engage all these people in this, and I certainly appreciate it. And I hope to see you again.
Thank you very much.